And I can remember my parents saying that during the war, because we lived near the ocean, that we always had dark shades at night because you couldn't have any light showing in the neighborhood, in the whole area, because the Germans could be coming ashore. Should I tell my age and all that? My name is Donna Catherine Marin Lear, and I was born February 3rd, 1943, and I am 76 years old. And I can remember in Amagansett, a submarine came ashore with people on it, and they still have something in Amagansett, reenactment. And I think it was a submarine, but that was one thing. And then also my baby carriage had no metal on it, because you couldn't buy things with metal at that time. My baby carriage had wood. A lot of it was wood. I'm sure the wheels had some metal in them, I'm not sure. And at that time, all the metal was being sent to, like, say, the Brooklyn Navy Yard, different places to make boats and airplanes. So there was always a shortage of metal back then. And of course, things change now. So I'm not sure if this is how the world changed, but I guess so. First of all, we didn't have a TV till I was probably, I'm going to say, the first TV I went to see, I used to walk to my grandmother's, and she had a TV, and I was probably 10 or 11, and I could walk across the park to her apartment, and all the kids in the neighborhood would go into her house to watch TV, because none of us had televisions. And when we did finally have a TV, it was, of course, a black and white TV. Probably I was 13 or something when we had a TV. We also always listened to the radio back then. The phones we had they were party lines. And my phone number in Watermill, New York, where I live, Long Island, was 1343M. And the people next door, their name was Rosenquist, Mr. and Mrs. Rosenquist, and they were older people, and their children no longer were at home, so they were married and had kids, or they definitely had she had grandchildren. And the numbers were party lines, and Mrs. Rosenquist next door had 1343R. Then there was a man that lived over in the village, and he had 1343J. Now there should have been one more letter, and I don't remember what the letter was nor who had it. So of course when you went to use the phone, I don't know how old I was at the time. I was probably in my early teens, and my sister was a couple years younger, and we were always in trouble because we talked on the phone too much. And Mrs. Rosenquist, when my mother worked at the time, and when she got home from work, she'd say, "Those girls have been on the phone all day," because they couldn't use the phone if we were on it, but I'm sure they would come over and knock on the door and tell us to get off the phone if they had to use it. So we were always in trouble. She was lovely though, she was very nice, but she used to get mad at us for doing that. And like now, so many people don't even have a phone in their house. They don't have a landline, I guess they call it now. Everyone is on a cell phone. You're always available. I get it has its good points and bad points. I think sometimes people make too many quick decisions when they're on cell phones because they're answering, and you don't write anything down. You don't think about what you're going to do, especially if you're working or on the job. You're making decisions while you're walking around, and I don't think sometimes people are thinking as well. If you were sitting at a desk at your job, thinking about the phone call and weighing out what you were going to say, or if you hadn't had to answer it immediately, if you waited and talked after you knew the subject instead of making such quick decisions while you're walking down the street. We were always outside, and we were made to go out because first of all we would get the house dirty. If my mother was in the summer, she would clean the house, and my sister and I would have to go out and eat our lunch outside, peanut butter and bananas, and the bees used to chase us. we used to not like that, but we didn't have a television at that time. All the things we did were mostly outside, which is good, but probably I don't know if kids could play outside more. I think a lot of them do, but we have so many things that, TVs, music, what else? Games. Yeah, so I think if you use things in moderation, it's good. But I think if people will learn that they shouldn't, I think at first when you have something like a video game for, say, your age, you like it a lot, but then you get tired of it and you realize you don't have to be playing it as much. I think people will make choices to use things, not overuse things.